is how do you get your protein? And I am amazed at this question again and again and again. And what I have realized is that there are so many myths surrounding the protein question. Many people think that if we don't eat meat, we won't get enough protein for our bodies. Many people cannot see that even in the animal kingdom, some of the sturdiest, strongest, gigantic animals out there are complete vegetarians, okay? And so today we are going to we're going to talk about what protein is. We're going to talk about some things that too much protein does to the body. We're also going to talk about some great sources, some really, really great sources of protein that does not come from an animal source. So I am so excited to get into this conversation. So if you have a question and or comment, please do call in at 818-739-8957. Now, there's been a craze sweeping across America and Britain and the rest of Europe in the Western world over the last decade. And it's been like, oh, you need high protein. Okay, you need high protein to overcome disease. You need high protein to overcome anemia. You need high protein to slim down and, retain that muscle mass. This high protein diet is just rampant. But I want to point out that this high protein diet can be fatal, okay? It can be really fatal, and I'll begin to explain to you why shortly. And then secondly, it won't really, in the long run, promote weight loss and slimming or diabetes. In fact, the opposite will begin to happen. Over time, it will lead to ill health, okay? It's a fact that most people in this country are slowly becoming and quickly dying of malnutrition. Yes, I said that. In America, where food is so plenty and people are morbidly obese, it is actually due to poor nutrition. People are overfeeding on high-protein foods at the expense of carbs, okay? And this is leading to different things like heart disease, cancer, diabetes. And it's just astounding that we are not using our minds to really think about protein and how much we need and what it's actually doing to the body, especially the forms that come in animal protein. High protein and low carb plans and diets differ in details in that they have a lot of claims. So, for instance, we've been told if we eat a lot of carbs, we'll have too much insulin in our bodies. And because excess insulin, it places us in what some people call carbohydrate hell, okay? So they're telling us that cut out the bread, cut out the starches, cut out all of that, and just go on these high-protein diets. Eat the bacon, eat the steak, eat the fish, eat the chicken, eat the eggs, and eat the cheese and all that. You'll lose weight. You'll be at great health. You'll feel great. You'll thrive because, after all, we're animals. We need that meat. We need that flesh to keep us going. That is such a myth. As a fact, it puts you at increased risk for heart disease, cancer, arthritis, and other type of inflammatory diseases, gout, okay? Another myth is the original human beings, they enjoyed the diet that was high in proteins. Our bodies are genetically made to handle this way of eating. What? That is so false. The original human beings had a diet of fruit, grains, nuts, and seeds. Do you understand? Fruit, grains, nuts, and seeds, that contained all the protein that human bodies needed. As a matter of fact, animals that are truly wired for higher protein diets have shorter intestinal tracts. because that meat goes in and it leaves the body quickly. They have higher levels of hydrochloric acid in their stomachs to really break down that heavy animal protein. And also, they have sharper canine-like teeth to just rip that animal protein apart. But us humans, we are definitely made herbivores, okay? So that's a myth that our bodies are genetically made. As a matter of fact, last week on Healthy Hump Day, I talked about how meat leads to constipation. But because it stays in the body, it takes the body up to 4 days to break down meat, whereas fruits and veggies and nuts and seeds, about 4 to 6 hours, no longer than 4 hours for fruits and veggies. So meat sits in your intestines and rots out of the body, which is another reason why it leads to so many toxic states within the body. Another myth: you can lose weight quickly and permanently by consuming more protein and eating fewer carbs. So you see, all the myths out there about protein really advocate a high animal protein diet that's just rich in flesh foods and animal byproducts like egg and milk, but low on fruits and veggies. Okay, now we're going to talk more about this protein myth. We're talking about how there are so many myths out there surrounding protein and how we have been sold the protein lie that we need to have diets high in protein, namely animal protein, and low in carbs like fruits and vegetables. I venture to tell you that most people don't even understand what protein is. Protein, according to Mosby's medical dictionary, is defined as any large group of naturally occurring complex organic nitrogenous compounds. Each is composed of large combinations of amino acids containing the elements carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, usually sulfur, and occasionally phosphorus, iron, iodine, or other essential constituents of living cells. Now, 22 amino acids have been identified as vital for proper growth. We have all heard of you need 22 amino acids to really make proper protein for the human body, and it's vital for our proper growth, our development, our maintenance of health. So we do need protein, okay? Now, the body can synthesize 14 of these amino acids on its own. Those are called non-essential, okay, because our body is kind of cranking it out, producing these types of proteins. But the rest of those remaining 8 must be had from dietary sources. So that's why they are called essential. It is essential that we eat things and put things into our body that will provide these other 8 amino acids. Protein is the major source of building material for muscles, blood, skin, hair, nails, and your internal organs. Okay? So we do need protein. It's a fact. Now notice, it said that protein is made up of 22 amino acids. There are very, very few things that are absolute complete proteins. Even animal flesh is not a complete protein. You would have to eat all of the animal to get a complete protein. You would have to eat the nose, the butt, the organs, the lips. You would have to eat the entire animal to get a complete protein. And we know for the most part that is not happening. So what we're seeing so far, understanding protein, is that it's going to take several different items combined to make complete protein for the body. But I want to ask you, did you catch something else? It said that the essential part of protein is made up of iron, iodine, sulfur, and different things like that. Those things are minerals. It is so important for us to get minerals. We're talking minerals into the body. Minerals are the key to optimal health, not protein as we've been sold the lie, as they've been trying to sell us all the protein supplements and powders and things like that on the market. The human body is made up of minerals, 102 minerals to be exact, and each of those contains something that is so beneficial for the body, okay? And when we eat protein that is from non-animal sources, we are getting the minerals that our bodies indeed definitely need. Now, I want to give you some more information about this animal protein and actually how hazardous it is to the body. When we partake of animal protein, it actually would be best if we were going to eat it raw in an uncooked state. That way, we would actually be getting some of the enzyme activity that would help the meat be broken down, and we would get something from it. But after we take this flesh food, and then we roast it, season it, fry it, bake it, and everything like that, it is basically pointless. All it does is satisfy our craving for fat and blood on our taste buds, but it's not doing anything positive for the body. Case in point, so many women have been told that they are anemic, told that they are lacking protein in the body. What does their doctors tell them to do? Their doctors tell them to increase red meat in their diet. So these poor women, not really understanding their physiology, they go on and they start increasing red meat or even sometimes chicken and fish for the protein in their diets. And they go back and they are still anemic. Why? What, isn't there allegedly protein in all this flesh food that they're partaking of? And the answer is truly no. No protein that is benefiting the body. So, other things that are happening because of the high intake of protein from the animal kingdom is all types of inflammation of the body. We're talking arthritis. We're talking tendinitis. We're talking gout. And the reason why flesh foods cause this in the body is because when we partake of protein from flesh sources, the natural byproduct of that is produced in our body is uric acid. Urine, exactly. Uric acid is produced in the body, and it lodges. That uric acid is lodged in our joints, lodged deep within our body tissues, and it causes a very acidic state in the body, a very acidic state, okay? And this acidic state is not only caused by actual flesh, but also by what is called liquid meat, your dairy products. As a matter of fact, dairy products have been determined to be the number one source of what is called proteinuria, meaning leaching of protein into the urine. It has also been discovered that the number one cause of osteoporosis and things like that in the body is because of excess protein in the body. Let me tell you how this works. But before I tell you how excess protein in the body works against us, it looks like we have a caller on the line. Hello, caller. Are you there? Hello? Caller, are you there with Three Wise Women? Well, perhaps that caller just wants to tune in and listen, and that is completely fine. I want to encourage others to call in at or join us on our Facebook fan page at 3 Wise Women and ask those questions about protein. How do you get it? Okay. Now, I was talking about excess protein in the body and how when we have too much protein in the body, especially animal protein, it produces an acidic state of the body due to the uric acid. And what are our kidneys trying to filter every day, all day? It's trying to put out urine. Well, when the body has too much uric acid, remember uric urine, it's overburdened, and it produces a very, very acid state of the body. Then the bones release calcium, trying to make the body more alkaline, trying to balance out the acidity of the kidneys. So we end up losing calcium from our bones, which is leading to osteoporosis, osteoarthritis. America is one of the leading countries, as well as Europe, for osteoporosis and osteoarthritis, but we are also the top consumers of protein. So that should tell you right there that protein, too much protein, especially from animal sources, is really not helping the body, but hurting the body. When you have too much protein in the body, the body begins to become unable to utilize the protein properly, and it's causing things like cancer, okay, and other issues like colon problems, colon and rectal cancers. And actually, African Americans and Latinos are the highest ethnic groups dealing with these colon and rectal cancers because we're eating way too much flesh protein in the body, and it's affecting us dramatically. Now, right after we come back from this break, I'm going to talk to you about some alternatives to flesh foods for protein in the body. And I'm going to actually tell you how much protein your body probably needs, okay? So 818 protein diet. And there's a quick fact that I want to share with you before we talk about other ways to get wonderful protein into the body that won't hurt you but build the body in a wonderful way. Here's a fact. Excess protein may lead to dehydration. Did you all know that? Too much protein leading to dehydration? It's because the protein metabolism requires extra water for utilization and elimination of it. So since exercising individuals, they are already at an increased risk for dehydration because they're sweating and losing so much water, the additional strain of excess protein, waste, and excretion may further promote dehydration. That is amazing, and that is really something great to know, especially when so many people who vigorously exercise are the ones who are more likely to take protein supplements, okay? Other forms of protein out there that I want you to know may not be the best form of protein. Have you heard of whey protein? Oh, that is so hot right now in the marketplace. Whey protein. Whey is a byproduct of cheese making, okay? And so the manufacturers of cheese had to find out something to do with all these mountains of whey left behind. So what they did was they doused it with a little shot of radiation to kill any extra bugs, and they super processed it. And they said, okay, give this to the people for protein. Now, if you happen to have small amounts of whey protein in something that you're eating, okay, it's not going to kill you. But the large amounts of whey protein that people are consuming to bulk up, it is deleterious, hurtful to proper health, okay? So I want you to be aware of that, especially as you're trying to get healthier and exercise and get your adequate amounts of protein in. So there's a question. What is an adequate amount of protein? Well, if you are looking at great sources of protein, which I'm going to just tell you is vegetarian sources of protein, they are bioavailable to the body, meaning the body takes it in and it utilizes it very, very well, very efficiently. So the body, literally, you need about 0.45 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So let's say you were 100 pounds, you need 45 grams of protein. That's it. All this 90 grams, and that's ridiculous. You are putting your body in a hyper protein state, which is going to lead to leaching of calcium from your body, as well as setting you up for other diseases like the cancers, like the inflammation, like arthritis, like tendinitis, like gout, okay? So in the last few minutes that we have left, let me answer that question that so many people ask vegetarians. How do you get your protein? Well, protein is found in spirulina, 70% protein, blue-green algae, 65% protein, chlorella, which is another sea algae, 60% protein. Then you also have bee pollen, which is 55% protein. Then there's Irish moss, dulse, kelp, alfalfa, lentils, beans, avocados, nuts, seeds, fruit, veggies, especially green leafy vegetables. Green leafy vegetables should be like up to 50% of your diet. Sprouts are an excellent source of protein. So things like spinach, kale, broccoli, parsley, cucumbers, artichokes, celery, hemp seeds, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, tomatoes, almonds. It is not hard to get enough protein during the day from a vegetarian diet. So I want to encourage all of you out there who have maybe been looking to make some positive change in the body to actually become healthier, but was afraid that you wouldn't get adequate protein. Everything you eat contains a small amounts of protein. But if you load up on those green leafy vegetables and then get your nuts and seeds, your lentils, your beans, your avocado, and then perhaps include, not perhaps, but do include seaweeds and sea vegetables in your diet, like chlorella and spirulina, you will lack nothing. So there you have it. That is how vegetarians get their protein. I want to thank you so much. Please tune in at 8 p.m. this evening for another session with me, Melanie Monique, on Healthy Hump Day, and we will have a fantastic time talking about more points to boost your health, especially as you enter into a new year, a new you, and a new body. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you live here on Blog Talk Radio with Three Wise Women at 8 p.m. this evening. Have a great day.